What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the Drew Deeks channel today. Well, here we are, the Montreal Canadiens and the people that talk about them. Well, yes, I am going to give this the time of day, even though sometimes I think it shouldn't be given the time of day. But yes, Shea Weber here, current captain of the Montreal Canadiens, still technically on paper. Two tweets, and then I think there was multiple tweets really because Weber's name was trending on Twitter. And that's the sad thing about social media is that this stuff actually gets the time of day. But there are certain players that I've appreciated over the years for the Montreal Canadiens that I'm willing to talk about and not necessarily stand up for, but just give my take on if I feel like there's something to be learned here or something to be talked about that is of substance or that matters. Um, but really, what I learned most about the tweets that were released about Shea Weber not being at Guy Lafleur's ceremony against the Bruins the other night, and also not being at the Habs home opener. What I've learned about these tweets, and I'm just going to share the tweet. I'm not going to post it, but I'll just read it for you. This coming from Brendan Kelly of the Montreal Gazette. Surprise, surprise. Just sometimes the Gazette just says whatever they say unfiltered because they know it's going to get clicks. That's how it works. Any reporter in Montreal, if they're honest, depending on which company they work for or which outlet they work for, will hopefully in retirement tell you, yeah, it's part of their job to stir the pot and to piss you off and to say things that are outlandish because it gets attention, whether it's good or bad. It gets attention, it gets clicks, and ultimately gets money. So I don't know that money's going to be getting, going to be going to the Gazette for something like this, but this came from Brendan Kelly, who works for the Montreal Gazette. Shea Weber attended Pekka Rinne's sweater retirement ceremony in Nashville in February, yet can't make it, even via video, for the opening Habs game of the regular season, nor does he bother to show for the Guy tribute. I'd say the message is pretty clear. Well, what message is clear? That Shea Weber knows that the Guy Lafleur ceremony wasn't about him, that even on opening night of the Montreal Canadiens season, that he's one part of the team. It's not about him. That Shea Weber doesn't like attention. He doesn't want attention. He doesn't even want to be captain right now. How do I know that? Well, I don't have that from Shea Weber's mouth, but I do have that from Dale Weiss, friend of mine. Yes, Dale's a friend of mine, friend of all of ours, I should say, at Habs Tonight. But I pulled up this clip from Habs Tonight where we asked Dale about Weber and whether he'd like to give the captaincy away if he could, and this was Dale's answer.
I think if you sat down with Shea Weber right now and you had a chance to ask him that question, I guarantee his answer would be give it to somebody else. In a heartbeat, he would say that.
So, long story short, would Shea Weber? This is back in December, by the way. That's where that clip is from Dale Weiss here, and if Shea Weber had a choice, he wouldn't be captain of the Montreal Canadiens right now. So therefore, even more so stating to me, a guy who's a teammate of Weber's, a former teammate and a friend of Shea Weber's, saying that, again, it's not about him. He doesn't want the spotlight. He doesn't want the attention. But what I can tell you, though, Brendan Kelly, or the other tweet I saw coming from Jeff Reed on Twitter, who I'll read this tweet really quick from him. Shea Weber is the supposed captain of the Montreal Canadiens, yet he didn't show up for the tribute to Guy Lafleur. It's time to give the seat to someone else, preferably someone who actually plays for the team. Well, yeah, if Shea Weber would have had a choice in the matter, he would have given away the seat. So there's your answer there. But in terms of the attention, and what I can tell you guys is this, Brendan Kelly and Jeff Reed, what's clearly true for me here is that now the attention is on you. This is about you and your opinion. This isn't about Shea Weber. This isn't about Guy Lafleur. Rest in peace. This is about you two. This is about every Habs person on Twitter, any hockey fan, anyone who has an opinion on this. And this is just my opinion too, really. So you can say whatever you want. I don't really care. But this really makes you guys in the spotlight. Are you seeing that? That this is now about you and your take on Shea Weber and how he handled the Guy Lafleur and opening night ceremony situation. Like, come on. Like, you guys are reaching here. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. And I think if you're honest, if you really thought about what you said before you tweeted it, would you have really said the same thing? And if you would have, did you realize at any point that this was more about the spotlight being on you and your opinion on it than anything else? It's not about Shea Weber. It's not about Guy Lafleur. It's about you. So you're making this about you. That's exactly what Shea Weber wasn't trying to do. So maybe get that through your head and realize that maybe you're in the wrong here. What a concept. I don't know. I can't believe I went 5 minutes on this already. Kind of ridiculous, but some people maybe even want to suggest at some point that, PK Subban, if he were still here, if he was made captain, he would have done these things. Well, PK Subban was born with a hockey stick and a microphone in his hand. I mean, that's PK's personality. He likes the spotlight. He likes the attention. Shea Weber is the complete opposite of that, because humility and being humble and a quiet take or lead by example leader is what Shea Weber is. And that's what they wanted when they brought him to Montreal. Different personalities, different ways to approach leadership, different ways to approach the game. So for me, I just don't get it. I mean, I think I've said enough on this one, but Shea Weber, I was proud and still am to have him have worn the C for the Montreal Canadiens, even when Pacioretty had the C, didn't want to take it off him, didn't want to, you know, disrespect that decision to have the team vote at that time and make Max Pacioretty captain. So I think at the end of the day, what I really wanted to make this video about was because I wanted to show these guys. Maybe you guys can chime in on the discussion below. If you and you know what, I'm expecting some of you are going to agree that maybe Shea Weber could have made an appearance or somehow, some way. He doesn't want the spotlight. He doesn't want to make it about him, and I think that I have respect for that. I have respect for that. I don't think that Shea Weber was in any way trying to disrespect the Montreal fans or the media. I think genuinely Shea Weber also doesn't care what anybody thinks of him. And when he came to Montreal, I knew, especially when they made him captain, that he wasn't going to put up with any of the media's garbage. And whenever they tried to ask him questions about his game and about him specifically, he deflected it. And maybe sometimes he could have talked about himself and taken responsibility a little bit more for mistakes. I don't know. But he chose not to, because he realized that it's not Shea Weber isn't the Montreal Canadiens. So that's really it for me. He doesn't care what people think about him. And he's not doing that as a slap to say, I'm going to just no show and hope everyone rips me apart and not care because I have a big ego. No, it's not about him, guys. It's not about him. And if you have a take like this that is so important that you have to share with the world, maybe think back for a second and realize you're more concerned about sharing your opinion than about the people you're giving the opinion about. That's all I'm going to say about that. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your chiming in below. Say whatever you like. Keep it respectful, but we'll talk to you guys again soon. Appreciate it as always. Cheers.